My name's Chris and I like listening to music. Praise be, it's Aesop Rock, another fantastic album by an artist that never misses. On first listen, I didn't think it was one of his best, and it's certainly grown on me and is special, but I sort of stand by that. I'll go back to it for sure, but not as often as something like Impossible Kid or ITS, for example. Gave it an 8 out of 10 on first listen, maybe pushing a 9. Let's see what the last and 10th listen brings. Track 1, Secret Knock, showing that he spans the genre straight away. You know, it could be a Muse intro or something like that, and then his beat kicks in, and then his bass kicks in, and it hits you in the chest as it always does. Such depth and atmosphere, all delivered with that wonderful flow that he has. He's quick, often quick, but you hear every word. Not scared of a pop chorus either. I know his fans adore him, but he should be more big around the world, really. 10 out of 10, can't argue with that for a start. Track 2, Checkers, arguably the most prog rock of the rappers. Could be Rick Wakeman on keyboards with like an indie bassist. You know, rooted in the best hip hop traditions, but bringing it right up to now. Atmosphere is the word, really. Just amazing attention to detail. Less pop than the first track, a little bit more aggressive. Not quite as great, but still wonderful. 9 out of 10. Track 3, Movie Night, one of his more playful numbers, reminds me of Aramie, One Thing, or Aramie. More straightforward, but no less effective. Great sense of humour, but never to be laughed at, only with. Love the easy listening feel, reminiscent of Kirby from the Impossible Kid album, which is one of my favourites ever. A real high, and a 10 out of 10. Track 4, EWR, Terminal A, Gate 20, back to the darker edge stuff. My first impression on first listen that it's more poppy than the last album, ITS, but not sure I think that. I'm not really a lyrics man, but he always draws me in with his story of everyday life. Lovely gritty beat, atmosphere like, as I say, nobody else can do. Didn't hit as much as some of the album though, 8 out of 10 that track. 10-10 wins, that one hits. I've always thought there's a love of punk with him and sort of something a little bit more driving bass, guitar riff, slower beat. Yeah, just first guest rapper as well with Arm& Hammer, who plays a blinder. I'm glad it's not overpowered with guests this album. You know, they come in when they need to and it's really good. 9 out of 10. Track 6, So Be It. Less impressive guest spot from Open Mike Eagle. First track that really feels a little bit filler. It is a long album at 18 tracks. But, you know, on a normal Mere Mortals album, it'll probably be one of the best. Great drum break at the end. 7 out of 10. Track 7, Send Help. Great sample with a slightly unsettling beat again. Atmosphere. You know, album's back on full flow now. 9 out of 10. Track 8, John Something, like a John Legend laid back piano loop. More straightforward than much of the album, concentrating on the storytelling as he does so well. You know, always enough going on to keep you engaged, never resting on one sample. There's always different stuff. Just wonderful in its simplicity. 8 out of 10. Watch out for the second half.